You can do it. You can do it. Just picture it. Picture it in your mind's eye. All right, I just got to use some imagination. I think I have an idea finally. I'm going to go forward and we're going to turn a desert into something I think is actually kind of worth looking at other than just piles of sand and some prickly green boys. If you want to see what we come up with, follow along and join us. To get started, we first have to turn the grassy superflat world into the proper biome. We're doing this using the biome brush. Then we're going to go ahead and rehome some of these villagers by absolutely gutting the place they currently live. Then I lay out a few different plants. I thought these were some of the ones that fit best for the palette we're going forward with. Then we get ourselves a little bit of a base built up, adding some different slopes and forms to the land, swapping between different brush sizes and strengths to smooth and blend the shapes together. Once I'm finally happy with it, I decide to take some of the lower grassy bits and turn them into sand. And let's keep going. If you want to see more progress on what I'm going to turn into our lush desert, follow along. We get started with what I believe is the rock brush. We're using a more cube-shaped brush and extending it all the way to the ground to elongate it and rounding off the corners, trying to blend different cubes into a little bit of a formation here. I'm really trying to use different sizes to blend things together and get a shape that's not blatantly a cube with a little bit more interest. After I'm done building up the smaller one and I move on to the larger formation, I realize you can stroke with this brush as opposed to just placing each block individually. So I start going forward trying to place different strokes of different sizes on top of each other. This helps them blend a little bit more naturally, I feel like. Then you'll see me, after I'm happy with the shape, kind of go back and repeat the same process from earlier, touching things up with a smaller brush, blending it all together, especially into the terrain that I built up. By the end of everything, I felt like I was kind of getting the hang of doing this and getting shapes I was overall happy with, and I was starting to enjoy the method. Let me know what you think. Man, I was not ready to take on the masking tool. I took forever trying all the different things I could think of. I thought it would really be as simple as just choosing the block you wanted to place on top of. I quickly realized that you have to specify the block you want to place on top of, but also replace the air above that block that you chose. I messed this up a couple more times in the future. You'll get to see that soon. But this was a major turning point and really unlocked a lot of tool uses for me. I hope you're excited to see what's coming up. After all the fumbling around with the masking tool, I really wanted to showcase the general starting vibe of the zone and show really how easy it is to get the initial placement of all the foliage once your mask is actually set up. This clip, I would say, is about a third of the way through this project, so let me know in the comments if you have any feedback so far. Hope you're enjoying. So I mentioned I would mess up the masking tool again. I believe I told the mask I wanted to place on top of the dried grass that was down, when what I was trying to get it to do was to replace a small amount of the dried grass while copying the previous mask I used initially. I just wanted to try and add a little pop of color along the edges of the sand here. Let me know if you like the red and the blue. This is just a quick note of one thing I didn't know about the foliage brush, is that two tall plants get placed as a bottom and a top. So you have to go back after, and where you placed all the bottoms that you wanted, set your brush area to 100% and paint the tops back onto the areas you placed initially. If any of you have some more questions on this, I can make a clip going into further detail. Just let me know in the comments. We're back again, adding just a little bit more foliage to the scene. This time we're adding it to the sand instead of the grass to try and tie things together a little bit. And I just wanted to kind of see what you guys thought at this point. So let me know what you think in the comments. This is where things really started to come together for me. I had an idea in my head of what I wanted the colors to sort of look like. My first little try here in the beginning wasn't quite getting across what I was imagining, and the rocks were standing out a little bit too much. But once I added in the sandstone, I really started to love the sort of look of the rusted or patinaed looking rock formations. And I think the other thing that really helped was kind of stretching the noise pattern, so it was almost like a little bit of a tiger striping. I think it turned out really awesome. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I was going to just add a few cactus blocks around, but now I hate them. And let me show you why. So the normal cactus block, when I build it up, look at how insanely cute the little nub is at the top. It's incredible. So now I can no longer use just normal cactus. And I realized that without this pack, it doesn't show up. So I didn't know this initially came from my resource pack, but yeah, it's from the Vanilla Experience Plus resource pack, and this is one of the things that it adds. So I made these two little blueprints to sprinkle all over the place. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have any favorite resource packs? Oh boy, we're in for a little bit of a longer one here. I probably could have split this into 2 clips, but I've never really built custom trees, let alone larger custom trees before. So I decided to start, I would try to just sculpt up a sort of trunk and wanted it to have a sort of a split branch up at the top. So I started there, wasn't really loving the shape initially, but decided to move ahead anyways. Added some mud walls and fences to try and form some smaller branches. I thought they also looked pretty weird, but maybe it's just because I'm not used to building trees yet. So I decided to keep moving ahead, and after I got these going in different directions, I decided to add some leaves to the mix. And initially shaping this, I was really, again, not loving how this was looking, trying to get it to spread out some. I didn't really like that this was a solid shape. I don't know if there's a way to place leaves a little bit more naturally or better. So then I sculpted back some of the leaves, kind of melting them away, shaping this a little bit more naturally, or at least what I thought looked more natural, revealing some of the branches again, and extending down the leaves along the outside to give it a more lively and bushy feeling, make it a little bit more ragged. And then I went back to reshape some of the branches in the trunk, really trying to make it a little bit less blocky and have a more organic and natural shape. Wanted to thin up the form a little bit. Overall, for my first real attempt at doing a tree, especially a larger one, I think it turned out all right, but I definitely want to practice this a lot more. So if you guys have any tips or feedback, let me know in the comments. We're now going around and adding the tree that we just made to the area. I don't want to add too many. I don't want this to turn into a forest or anything. And it is meant to be a bit of a lush desert. So you get to see those and the cactus blueprints that we made earlier get spread around a little bit. Just trying to add a little bit more life and color to the sand. Let me know if you like the new pop of green that we've added. Also, if you have any custom fantasy biome ideas, share them in the comments. Let's come up with some together. Now we're adding some of the final touches to the desert area here. We're going around adding smaller boulders and rock formations, really trying to make sure I change the brush settings after each one so that every rock has got a good amount of variation to them. Then we dig into coloring a lot of the newer rocks to match the existing formations and bring everything together, make sure they match. I was experimenting with a medium-sized shrub here using mangrove roots waterlogged with some coral around it. I didn't really spread them around too much, but let me know what you guys think and if you think I should turn it into a blueprint and use it all over the place. I am getting more and more comfortable with Axiom, making these clips for everyone to enjoy, and if you have questions about my process, Axiom, or what other biomes we might do in the future, feel free to ask in the comments or check out our Discord server. I'd really love to collaborate with everyone, so come share your ideas, give some feedback on some of mine. If you'd like to see all the shorts from this project, I have them all compiled over on YouTube, and I even have them swapped to a full screen format as well if you'd prefer that. Thanks for watching, and I hope I see you in the next one.